My expectations today are to learn from the past fellows who were also part of this leadership training, what they gained from the training. Also, I want to have a role model who I will look up to, so that I will work towards the challenges I face in life and how to overcome them from this training.
Attending my first TAFCon.
The TAFCon is here to empower you, to educate youth, so I am expecting a lot.
The TAFCon that happens every year, I've never attended it, but this year I decided to come and see what is happening because I'm hearing people talking about TAFCon Global, and then
I'm very speechless and impressed by what the NGO family has created here. And I think they're not empowering only Africans, but also Europeans who come here and try to start businesses.
I'm here to listen, and I'm here to see how he motivates young people. I'm very, very inspired by TAF because he has a very, very good approach to how he can inspire young people. The young people are the future for Africa. And if you have to inspire them, we can achieve higher goals in Africa.
But this is my first time attending this conference.
We know that these are very important things in our context in the Gambia, so I look forward to listening and learning more as someone who's moved back to the Gambia a year ago, to learn from Gambians that are here and the various diverse panelists that they have. So I look forward to the insightful conversations.
My expectations have been met with regards to this graduation today, and I hope to inspire others to be part of the team as well. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, as we commence this meaningful gathering, we recognize the importance of centering ourselves in unity and reflection. To open our proceedings, we will commence with a moment of prayer, embodying the rich diversity of our community. I invite you to join me in the Muslim prayer, which will be graciously led by Mr. Usainu Gom. Let us bow our heads in humility, seeking wisdom, peace, and a sense of togetherness.
Let us open in prayer. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. May Allah give you successful deliberations. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalamun alal mursalin. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amin ya Rabbi.
Precious Father, we count it an immense privilege to invite you, ask for your blessing, ask for your wisdom, ask for your guidance, and ask for your grace. Another conference, but a conference that's pivoted in a major thrust for economic transformation, prosperity, longevity, and stability.
Welcome to the heart and soul of intellectual convergence, the TAFCon 2023. As we stand on the precipice of an ever-evolving global landscape, the theme, Rising Strong, Resilience and Preparedness to Navigate Challenges of an Emerging New Global Architecture, could not be more poignant. In the midst of unprecedented changes, it is here, in this sacred space of ideas, that we come together to explore, learn, and fortify ourselves for the journey ahead. Behind this visionary gathering stands a luminary, a man of unwavering commitment to the growth and prosperity of the Gambia, Mr. Mustafa Njai.
How in the Gambia do we rise to this challenge, and do we take, the opportunities that are offered? What are the types of skills and the types of jobs that will be created in the future? What skills and competencies are we looking at? Are we going to do business differently, or are we going to think ahead and see what it is that we can really do to benefit from this phenomenon? How to have accountability for these leadership activities, because without that personal accountability, it will be quite a challenge to move forward. Entrepreneurship is key to developing some of these issues, but we must also be able to look inside ourselves as young people and see to what extent are we responding to everything that we have learned in leadership.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just had a speech by Ms. Ndeye Aisutinjai, who just gave us the chairperson's speech. We would like to thank you so much for your inspiring words and steadfast leadership. Now, as we continue this journey of insight and collaboration, it is my great honor to invite to the podium the visionary founder of TAFCon, a man whose unwavering dedication has transformed this gathering into a beacon of progress. With a heart committed to the growth and prosperity of the Gambia, his vision has not birthed this conference, but has also cultivated an environment where ideas flourish and dreams take flight, using myself as a typical example. As we eagerly anticipate his words, and as he shares his insights, ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to help to join me in welcoming the CEO and Managing Director of TAF Africa Global and founder of TAFCon, Mr. Mustafa Njai, to deliver the welcome speech.
So fellows, can you please stand up so we recognize and congratulate you for the 1 year that you have done this. Ethical conduct goes hand in hand with respect to others. It is vital that we treat individuals with dignity and empathy, valuing their rights, opinions, and perspectives. By embracing diversity and also inclusion, we create an environment that encourages collaboration, innovation, and overall well-being. The third is accountability. Accountability is the cornerstone of ethical practice. It requires taking responsibility for our actions, decisions, and their consequences. Embracing transparency and providing clear channels for reporting and addressing unethical behavior promotes a culture of accountability that leads to positive change and growth. Let us remember that ethics and morality are the bedrock of a just and prosperous society. By placing these principles at the core of our actions, we can create a positive ripple effect that reaches far and wide.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is no secret that today each one of us in this country and across the continent of Africa and the world at large struggle with various social vices, not just on climate, but the economic realities that is affecting the business community and transcends beyond the business to affect our communities and the young people that we all have hope in. Ladies and gentlemen, I say this because the Gambia, just like any country in the world, has a youthful population. The estimates of the Gambia place that the population of 2.5 million have about 65% of them living below 35 years. The effects of these social problems lead youth into being antisocial or delinquent by abusing drugs and substance, and subsequently engaging in crimes, a phenomenon that has unimaginable effect on peace, health, and the economies of the countries, because we are the ones that can make that change and ensure we have a shift from what was traditionally known to a more realistic approach of economic development and economic empowerment. I will want to conclude by talking on the most important issue of illegal migration, which has affected our country for the longest, but more so in recent months, and the numbers of people that attempt to migrate this country through legal means. But the most serious one is what we call illegal migration. This is mostly due to economic situations, but we believe that there are opportunities in this country that young people can take advantage of and be able to do better for themselves and for their families.
350 Mustafa Njais, perhaps each of you employing another 350 staff, our employment woes would be over because you'll be doing 122,000 if that happens. As a society, shall be contingent upon our collective investment in the youth of today. Will agree with me when I say the brilliant faces in front of me promise a bright future for the Gambia, and we trust you. As we gather here with government officials, business leaders and entrepreneurs from a wide range of sectors, we encourage you, the 350 graduates, to build networks, to access valuable market information, share best practices, and also collaborate with the government to ensure that the necessary reforms are implemented for a more conducive business environment. Therefore, we are living in a world fraught with profound challenges and high level of polarization, clouding any prosperity for meaningful or prospects for meaningful economic growth. In fact, most developing countries' growth is retreating as we witness a declining growth from 6% to 5%, with a projection of 4% decline in the future for the global economy. In sub-Saharan Africa, rising conflict and violence across the region exerts a dampening effect on economic activity, with climate shocks poised to exacerbate this fragility. About 462 million people in the region are still living in extreme poverty in 2023. It is the most important source of resilience in any economy. The role of entrepreneurship in economic development is substantial. After all, entrepreneurs don't just or do not just build businesses and grow personal wealth, they also impact the economy by creating new jobs, creating employment and opportunities. You drive innovation, develop new markets, develop new products, develop new services. China will impose zero tariff on 98% of imports from Angola, Gambia, Democratic Republic of Congo, Madagascar, Mali, and Mauritania. Is that not an added opportunity on the 1.2 billion consumers that you have? So that gives you nothing less than 2.5 billion, which is more than 1/3 of the global consumer population. So there you go. A simple click on your mobile phones give you access to an amount of information that at your age, people of my generation would have required several days in a library to acquire. Your phones give you access to YouTube videos on mathematics, history, computer programming, and human anatomy. What goes in your mind when you see people using social media to bring each other down, as opposed to social media products that tell you how to fix a plumbing problem in your house, how to fix a problem in your kitchen, how to catch up on some mathematical problems that you have had problems understanding in your classrooms. The choice is yours. This way or that way. It was Nelson Mandela who said, "A vision without action is just a dream." You can have a vision, but if you don't work towards that vision, you're just dreaming. It's not sufficient to say this is where I want to be, but you need to work towards that vision. Mandela continues to say, action without vision just passes time. Yeah, you can keep on circumambulating in this hall if you don't have any idea as to where to go. So what do? We need to marry the two. And this is what Mandela says. He says, vision with action can change the world. So you must have a vision and you must act towards that vision. Character has many descriptions, but nothing sums it up so beautifully for me than integrity. A beautiful definition of integrity is doing the right thing in all circumstances. That is integrity. Your mission towards that vision should be underpinned by competence and character. Your vision will determine your career path. Competence will get you the job, and character will keep you on the job.
Where did it all go wrong? And how do we make it out? Think. First, God. First, God, then the rest will follow. Second, learn. Jangalin. Observe, adapt, discipline, and hard work. Listen. Wear sustainability like a gown. Grow in goodwill. Nurture, empower, and build. Rise up for your own. The secret is experience. The secret is experience. Listen, learn, and grow. You sit in uniformity, where rise as one. And in truth, the power will come. A reflection is beyond any work of art, and we are greater than any masterpiece. Now tell me, what better architecture is that? We are the youth. Click, clack, boom.
The panel, of course, is about youth empowerment. The question is, do you feel empowered as a young person in this country? What is the one thing that you think we need to focus on in terms of empowering young people in the Gambia? And I'll start with Aina.
When I think back as a youth and how I may have been empowered or not so, I believed I had opportunity to be challenged. I had opportunity to be challenged in my community, in my religious setting, in school, where young people were given different challenges at the time. But when I think about the opportunities and the challenges that the youth of today face, I think my challenges and opportunities were nothing compared to that. The guest speaker was on point. At the age of 25, I had never touched a computer.
We don't know how to manage our time between what we have to do to learn in the internet and what we just have to do to just actually enjoy ourselves. The moment we can create a balance between those two, then I believe we will start to be on the path to gaining best things in the internet and just not using it and wasting our time for nothing.
I believe that I would answer the question in twofold regarding youth empowerment. One, I believe government and societal policies should change to help address the youth problems in the country, and this is even globally worldwide. But again, the other part of the issue is, are we the youths taking responsibility of making use of the things we got available? Like a lot of the older generation, when they speak, even today when we had the ECOWAS leaders give his speech, he spoke about how we have our phones in our pockets with a whole lot of information, while they would have gone to the library to get all the information they need. We have all these things available to us, but are we making use of it? Are we, for example, taking responsibility in what we need to deliver when the opportunities we have, making use of it?
What do you think the primary driver of youth unemployment is, and youth, feeling under or not empowered at all? What are your thoughts on that?
About 60% of our population live under 19 years of age, right? And this is a critical age that major life decisions have to be taken. And it's so unfortunate that it's forcing a lot of young people into drugs, crimes, and even back where, they are calling. A lot of people losing their life. But the good news is, the greatest natural resource that Africa has is its youthful population. So to face these challenges, they have a pivotal role to play. And for me, I think the most important thing is opportunities are there. I think we have inequality of information. People just don't have the right information to see the opportunities.
I feel that the young people are disillusioned because maybe opportunities are not there, and these opportunities must be provided both by the public and private sector. We cannot expect governments to be able to recruit and employ everybody. So private sector growth, maybe again encouraged by government, should be mainstreamed. I want to challenge you to say that you may want the top job today, but none of us, you might get there sooner, but none of us started the top jobs immediately. You must be prepared to do your apprenticeship. You must be prepared to build and have a repertoire, have a character base from which you can now benefit in the future. The sea has a lot of resources, but it will give you only as much as you go for. So if you go to the riverbank with a bucket of water, you can only come back with a bucket of water. So I want the hearts to be bigger, the aspirations to be wider, so that when the opportunities are there, you can grab a lot of it. But I can understand your frustrations and your disillusionment. But are you prepared for the challenges of the world? Are you taking the tough leadership experience to bear? Are you looking at self-discipline, personal self-discipline, taking actions now?
It is the small businesses that actually build a strong middle class. So if we don't have the startups having genuine conversations with the government, by genuine conversations, I mean they should ask us and know what we want and how we can work together to achieve the common goal. If we do not have that, we will continue to have a lot of unemployment, that we will continue to have programs that are not going to yield to our benefit. Many of these young people who have the phones don't actually know how to make money using the phones. What they know is how to take pictures on Snapchat and how to post it on TikTok. That is not what brings the money. What brings the money is knowing the soft skills. We are in an era where even if you're going to be a market vendor, you need to know how to use the phone.
If they have jobs available or things to engage in, we'll not be looking at people turning to drugs. We'll not be having people turning to the back way. We have people with mental health issues because they've tried to use the back way. There were no employment opportunities available in the country. When I was growing up, I didn't live a lot in Gambia that way, but when I was growing up, my youthful days over here, we didn't have that much of an issue of the back way. Now we do. You go to Tanka Tanka, you have youths, a whole lot of them in the psychiatric units because of the back way. You ask, what do you want us to do? There's no job opportunities in the country. One thing I would like to say as well, one thing I would like to see more of in this country is the spirit of volunteerism in the youths. I say this not only for in the sector of having courses, but in whatever you do, just make it part of your life. If you were even gainfully employed and it's a small position, but are you, the youth yourself, making sure that you're doing all that you're responsible for? Are you, for example, coming to work on time or even 30 minutes earlier if you need to? Are you, for example, being this type of person that has the can-do attitude, that when your manager or a director brings up an idea, you're not just bringing it down, but you rather they're bringing an idea that everybody is going to know?
Most of young people are not very enterprising, but it's not their fault. I think we should start with school systems, I was a science student in Nusrat, but I can remember. I don't know who has been a science student here before. Science student. Good. I remember drawing cockroaches on my body. Their wings. Yes, because you have to know these things. You have to know cockroaches, the ear, the eye. You draw it and know every single part of it. But this is unnecessary. I think the school system really needs to change. I think we have to try and foster creative thinking. How people find solutions to the problem. Because all these problems that we are talking about, this also comes with opportunities for people to solve them, but they cannot see it with their eyes. if you don't have job, but if you are creative, you can see problems and create value, because it's all about creating value. How do you provide solution to these problems? You can make employment for yourself and employ other people. But being creative is not only about building a company or an enterprise, but it actually helps you, even if you are employed, to help the organization have solutions that are needed. And with this, I think Gambia can thrive, because you have a lot of brilliant people around. But we don't know how to use that intelligence, that smartness to find solutions around us. But I think that's what we have to do. The school system needs to change. Because if we do this, it's going to create a lot of opportunities, because it's possible. And also, we are here not because we are experts, and we are not successful, I think all of us. I remember when they told me to come here, I said, no, I don't have anything to say. What am I going to tell people? I'm not successful. They said, no, but your story, the way you started it. I started with $20,000. First 10,000 to make myself to the pharmacy, and the other 10,000 was I used it to buy medication. But right now we are employing 60 people single-handedly, no bank loan.
You are invited to an event at 10. You turn up at 10 to 10, quarter to 10, 5 to 10. I mean, as the young lady, I believe in role modeling, and I wish that our presence on this podium is challenging and encouraging the young women in the room. I think it's important to turn up looking good, but I think it's important to turn up on time. I think you'll be more respected when they know they can depend on you to be at that panel, at that event, at that show, at that whatever you need to do on time. You need to prepare before you get there. I don't understand how somebody is invited to an event or anything that you have to do as a professional and you're not prepared. You don't know what's going on, and you turn up there. It's more important to make sure that the phone is right and the lighting is right. Whilst all of that is important, that is not why somebody will call you again. I work in Zambia. My time difference is 2 hours to the Gambia. Since I've been here on holiday, I have had 3 meetings at 6 a.m. because the meeting is at 8 o'clock in the morning in Zambia. I am awake, I am at my desk at 6 a.m. and having those meetings. This morning I had a 9 o'clock meeting that I had to answer end of year questions. The TAF team saw me, I came in early, I went back into my car, I sat in that car and I had that meeting, had my presentation for 30 minutes before I came in for this meeting. That is what it is. You have to be reliable, you have to be disciplined, you have to be ready to do the hard work. That I can speak about. The younger people on the panel can speak about today and the telephones and the technology and the opportunity it gives. For me, I'm talking about personality, about character, about reliability, about entrepreneurship, about, apprenticeship, about willing to learn the job.
Doing what you have to do, even when you don't feel like doing it and when no one's watching. In the nutshell, that's what discipline is all about. I think that is what sums it up. Because if you know what you have to do and you do it anyway, even though you're bored or you don't want to do it, but you just get up and do it, that is going to result to persistency. At the end of the day, if it is a skill that you're learning and you don't know that much, because you're persistent in doing it, and that persistency came about because of the discipline you're giving it, at the end of the day, you became a master. You become a master in it. I attended TAFCon 2018 with some of my friends here. They're here today. And I was inspired by the young people doing businesses. And I felt like I was not doing nothing. I felt like I was just one big useless citizen who's not just waiting for the government to do everything. Then I decided I have to do something. I knew whatever thing I was going to do was supposed to be in the technology field because that's what I know. But which field? Luckily, Gambia won and world like global. It's a global award. I forgot which one exactly, and I saw it in the news, and that took me to the internet, and then I started researching why, out of all the countries in the world, why Gambia winning on a global stage in the presence of giants? That is what struck my interest. The discipline part of this is because it took me 6 months to get answers that I could just have heard with a click. Answers like, how many people are employed in the Gambia through the tourism sector? Answers like, is it really true that we are losing an approximate 90% of tourism revenue leaves this country? Answers like, how many of the hotels keep open during the low season? These small answers that I could have gotten with a click took me 6 months to get because I had to knock on their doors, GT board. I met the then Director General and asked him the question. Is it really true that the tourism sector in the Gambia, the revenue that comes to the tourism sector, an approximate 90% leaves the country again? And he said yes. maa ngi mel ni kuñ sotti ndox that day.
Discipline is actually what gets you to succeed. For example, I give you an example. You can see talented athletes, for example. If they don't employ discipline in their work or whatever they're doing, then they lose out. The last time I applied for a job, I think was about 5 years ago, and even in October, I was promoted. I don't apply for jobs anymore. You give me a job, I go, I make sure this is me. I'm gonna do the job so well that when our next job comes on, the director is gonna headhunt me. It's gonna land on my desk. So it's gonna be like, Oli, we have a position, can you get us that Chongan gal? And I would be like, oh, I need to go for another interview. Because in my mind, I think sometimes we think about things in the reverse. We think about money, we think about, if somebody gives you a job to do, you forget everything else. Focus on doing that job so well.
Without discipline, they are losers. They are failures. Each one here, because there are a lot of businessmen here, you cannot achieve anything in life without discipline. The ability to do what you're supposed to do, whether you feel like it or not. You must do it. It's the secret code to success. You have to. Discipline is the key to everything. No excuse, because there is no free meal in this world. You must give in something to have something in return. And I think a lot of young people need to understand that. And with this, I think we can make a lot of changes in this country.